Noah's Dvarim, which is, what is the mocker of the Isur of Noah's Dvarim? What is Noah's Dvarim? Hurtful speech, as we just heard. Noah's Dvarim. It's not Lashon Hara because it's directed to the person who hears it, and it's words that hurt and cut deeply and causes many great deal of pain, and many tragedies result from that. The Moker is a posek in Bahar, in Sefer Vayikra, V'lo yisoinu ish es hamisoy, and the Gemara explains it to mean Noah's Dvarim. How is it defined? What is Noah's Dvarim? The Sefer HaChinuch defines it, and this is his Lashon. Shelo inoymar liYisrael Dvarim sheyachivuhu v'yitzaruhu ve'eino yochel he'ozer mehem. Meaning that we are forbidden to say to another Yid, to a fellow Jew, words that cause pain and tsar and hurt. Ve'eino yochel he'ozer mehem, to the point where he feels helpless. We tend to be very careless with speech, with what we say. A harsh word can inflict great pain and sorrow. It can hurt. It can cut very deeply. As Shlomo HaMelech says in Mishlei Perek Yud Beis, Yesh boite kimat korois chorev. Sometimes a person speaks, boite expresses himself, kimat korois chorev, which cuts deeply like a sword, kimat korois chorev. L'shen chachomim, on the other hand, marpeh. The language of the wise, heal and soothe. This is the contrast between the careless speech and the healing power and the happiness that speech can bring. Sometimes the words that cut like swords are spoken deliberately with the intent to hurt. In anger, or in just downright malice, they're with actually an intent to hurt and to cause pain. Perhaps more often it results from just careless thoughts, careless words, with disregard what the consequences might be. It could be very, very painful, and people say things that are mamish, absolutely brutal. Insulting remarks, demeaning expressions, derogatory statements, name-calling, which is not uncommon at all, especially in families between husband and wife, and sometimes between parents and children. And this leaves such tragic imprints on the spirit and soul of the person who is the object of such torrents of insults and abuse. Verbal abuse is what we're really talking about. I once heard a mother scold her little boy, must have been 3 or 4 years old, for something he did and probably deserved some kind of reproach. But she said to him, "You are a bad boy." And the child cried hysterically. It took a long time until she calmed him down. "You are a bad boy." She could have said to him, "What you're doing is not nice. Don't do it. Stop it." But she didn't say that, or something similar. "I wish you wouldn't do that." She didn't say that. She said, "You are a bad boy." She characterized him, defined him as a bad boy. This hurt him so much that he broke out into hysterics. The mother did not intend to hurt him that much, for sure. But she didn't realize what those words mean to a sensitive child. And most children, all children are sensitive, as our adults as well. So to label him, a label is the worst thing. If you label somebody, you can lecture to him, you can criticize, you can express your disapproval, chide somebody, but don't use any label, any names. Because labels stick. And very often, this kind of remarks fester long after the incident that provoked it has passed. But the wound that was caused, that was inflicted by that remark, festers on and on for a long, long time. We have today in our society, I'm talking even in the Frum society, that's what I'm talking about. We have breakdown in marriages, lack of shalom bayis, very, very many cases. And I venture to say that most cases of the breakdown in shalom bayis starts from verbal abuse in one form or another, whether it's done deliberately to hurt, whether it's done out of uncontrollable anger, or just careless. Sometimes it's done in jest, a joke, but the joke hurts, it's offensive. The person doesn't see it as funny. It leaves a scar. It leaves a scar. Many children are turned off from Yiddishkeit because of certain mistreatments verbally, either from parents or from teachers. A melamed, a teacher, by being insensitive to the feelings of children, of Talmidim, could use sarcasm or insults, public, barabim, in class, and there have been, to my knowledge, a number of cases where the boys were turned off from Yiddishkeit. So this is all in the gather of a noas dvorim, which is as much of an isur as lashon hara, the same love as lashon hara, same love. Lesoinu isha samisa. At the end of the words of the pasuk that I just quoted, Lesoinu isha samisa, are followed by V'yoreiso me'alekecho, ki ani Hashem Elokecha. V'yoreiso me'alekecha. What's the meaning of that? Why does the Torah add? The Torah doesn't always add V'yoreiso me'alekecha. Why does the Torah add V'yoreiso me'alekecha? I think because many people would be ashamed to speak the way they speak at home to a wife, to a child, to a neighbor, to a business partner, or to any person that they come in contact with. They would be ashamed to say such words in the presence of other people. But they feel free to use that kind of language in private, in privacy. Nobody is listening. So the Torah says, no, somebody is listening. Somebody is recording it. V'yoreiso me'alekecha. Don't think that in your own home, to your own members of the family, you can speak kol ha'oile al ruchacho, because nobody is listening. If somebody were listening, you would be ashamed and embarrassed. You would control your speech. So the Rebbeinu Shalom says, V'yareisha melekecha, I am there, I am listening. I'm recording it. It will be played back to you. The Vilna Gaon, in his famous Igeres HaGro, which he wrote to his Rebbetzin when he was on his way to Eretz Yisrael, he wrote her a letter of Musa, advice, hadroches, how to conduct herself, how to deal with the children, what she should be careful of, so on. And there's a great deal of Musa in there for everybody. And there he writes, among other things, he writes about speech, to be careful with speech. And he writes, these are his words, Bali Gadfin, Hoilchin Tomid, Eitzel Kol Odom Be'odom. Bali Gadfin means Malochim, Bali Knofayim, Malochim. Accompany each person regularly. Bali Gadfin, Hoilchin Tomid, Eitzel Kol Odom Be'odom, Ve'ei nifrodim imenu. They're never separated from him. Wherever he goes, they go. Ve'choisvin kol dibur v'dibur. And they record every dibur. So you imagine you talk in private, nobody's around, you make sure nobody's around. And you think nobody's listening, nobody. Actually, you're going around with secretaries who write not even in shorthand, but mamish kol dibur v'dibur. Every word is recorded. Actually, you're speaking into a tape recorder, which goes straight up in Shemayim, and one day it'll be played back to you. It's very, very interesting, instructive to see the Kabbalahs during the Yom HaNoroim of such tzaddikim like Rabbi Itzel Peterburger or Reb Chaim Oizer. What were they mekabel? What were they mekabel? Lachashof koidem kol dibo. This is what it is. Lachashof koidem kol dibo. To think before speaking. Is it going to hurt somebody? Is it going to be offend somebody? Is it going to humiliate somebody? Will it cause tsar, pain? Will it cause breakdown in shalom bayis? This is one of the yikuvim that is me'akiv digul, as the Chafetz Chaim wrote so many times in regard to Lashon Hara. But the Chafetz Chaim also wrote many prokim, many messages, many letters he wrote. Many kabbalas were made in the yeshiva, not only about Lashon Hara, he lists 10 forms of Shmiras HaDibur. Among them is Einos Dvarim. But for some reason it wasn't zeicher to so much publicity as Lashon Hara. On the other hand, we spoke about the Onshim Chamurim of Einos Dvarim. On the other hand, the Chafetz Chaim writes in several places, he writes the schar of one who thinks before he speaks, one who is careful with his speech. He writes, Achoisem piv, zoicher le'oil hagonus, she'ein kol malach u'berye yochel l'shaya. One who keeps his mouth closed when it should be closed. Is zoicher le'oil hagonus, the oil of Shiva Simei Bereshis, which the Rabbeinu Shalom was going it, the Rabbeinu Shalom put it aside for tzaddikim lo'osid lovei. And this oil, this radiance, this light, is something that no malach, no berye can imagine the beauty and the joy of this light. Kol achoisem piv zoichel oil hagonus she'ein kol malach u'berye yochel l'shaya. Achoisem piv, just achoisem piv. The Eibishter should help us and give us the siyata d'shmaya to use this great gift of Hashem, the gift of speech, which has such golden blessings in it, to use it right, and we will be mekarev the geula in Hera.